Welcome to the Weird and Witchy Sh podcast. I'm Kristy, your basic witch guide, here to make the mystical a little bit more approachable. In today's astrology lesson, we are talking all things Pisces and how that manifests as a sun, moon and rising sign. And what a bittersweet moment that we come to the end of our cycle through the zodiac with all of our Astrology 101 lessons. If you have tuned in for all of them, or this is the first one that you're listening to, I just want to take a moment to say that I appreciate you so much for listening in or watching on YouTube as well. It feels pretty cool to have completed an episode now on every single zodiac sign, and although we did fall off at the end there with getting them into their right seasons, I think I did pretty damn well up until about I fell off round about Capricorn season, I'm not gonna lie, and then like the timings were a little bit rogue. Right now we are still in Aries season, and I think we'll get the Pisces episode out in Taurus season. So you know what, I think for a year-long commitment it's not too bad at all. It's interesting as well because when I look back at like my Aries episodes, I think I can see how much I've like grown in the way that I feel confident to like speak about the things that I know, or just like in my delivery. So it's really cool when you're like documenting a series and then you can go back and you can look at your older episodes and see how much you've changed and you've grown. And of course, when I started doing these, like it was literally just an audio, and now we also have the video form as well, which I feel a little bit sad about that I didn't do video for them all, but that's what happens when you grow and change and move through cycles. Anyway, you don't care about all that, you care about Pisces. So Pisces is the 12th and final sign of the zodiac, with Pisces season starting on February 19th and ending on March 20th, and this sign is represented by two wee fishies. Pisces falls at the end of winter, making it a mutable sign. So mutable signs tend to be more flexible, adaptable, and changeable. If you think about it, the transition between winter and spring is a relatively big transition. So Pisces is closing out the end of winter, but you know, it's still kind of like creeping into springtime when Pisces is still around, so they're a little bit more, they can change, you know. Pisces rules over the 12th house in the astrological chart, which is the house associated with the subconscious mind, mysticism, illusions, and what lurks behind the veil. The 12th house is very interesting to me because it's kind of the house of all the things that are unseen, which can be everything from psychic abilities to your shadow self, from magic to mental health struggles, from spiritual transformation to like deep sorrow and suffering. And the 12th house deals with karma from past lives and things that are unknown to even you. I do think an episode on all 12 of the houses would be really beneficial, because while some are relatively straightforward and kind of easy to grasp, for instance, like the first house can be summed up in saying it's literally all about you, the person or place or event or whatever that you're reading the chart for. The first house is literally all about them. Some of the other houses could do with a little bit more of a deep dive. So if you want that from me, then please let me know. I would love to do it. Probably will do it even if nobody lets me know, let's be real. Pisces' ruling planet is typically considered to be Neptune. I would say that's the kind of wider association when you ask people what Pisces' ruling planet is, which does make sense with Neptune's associations to like dreams and illusions and escapism, both like good and bad escapism. However, in traditional astrology, it's Jupiter that is thought to be Pisces' ruling planet, which I guess some people don't fully understand. And I think that's because they're associating Jupiter with the kind of like big, loud, obnoxious, like frat boy energy of, say, Sagittarius, which is definitely like a big side to Jupiter. But bear in mind, Jupiter is also the planet that is most associated with expansion, spirituality, and religion, higher powers. So I would say that Jupiter absolutely makes sense as Pisces' ruling planet. I would say Jupiter rules Pisces, but Neptune has a similar energy to Pisces, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like Jupiter would be Pisces' dad, and Neptune would be Pisces' like friend who takes like hallucinogenic drugs with them, you know? The associated tarot card for Pisces is, of course, the moon, the card of intuition, all things that are hidden, things that are not as they seem, including deception. Some keywords strongly associated with Pisces are mysterious, creative, sensitive, compassionate, dreamy, spiritual, transformative, deceptive, escapist, self-pitying, moody, and avoidant. Pisces as your sun sign. So, we all know by now that your sun sign is who you are at your core. So it's your ego, your identity, also could be considered to be like your soul. It's like the true essence of who you are. If someone has Pisces as their sun sign, that means that they were born between February 19th and March 20th. I have a lot of Pisces suns in my life, including my cat and one of my dogs. They're both fucking nuts, especially my dog, like Evie. Like, she's actually like, she's incredibly like mentally unwell, you know? Pisces is often thought to have like hidden enemies. So like, this kind of like dark-sided stuff happens behind like the veil of illusion, and I feel like Evie has all these hidden enemies that really only she can see. So every single time that she goes out to go to the toilet, she's like barking at people, she's going mental, like every single person that goes past, like man, woman, baby, like she doesn't like give like a fuck, man. Like, she will like attack every single person that goes past. If nobody's there, she's still got like her hackles up and she's growling and she's like going like insane and she's barking at people that aren't even there. Like, she's literally just always on this like high alert. But maybe she's just seeing into the other world and she's been, you know, triggered by things that I just can't see because I'm not on her like level, man, you know. It's so funny because my other dog Elf is a Virgo and she's like such a composed like little bitchy princess, so like next to her Evie looks like an absolute lunatic. So one thing that you will always hear mentioned about water signs is their sensitivity, and Pisces is no different. So not only are they sensitive emotionally, but they are sensitive to the subtle energies as well. So this might be like picking up vibes before anyone else does, or having quite a strong psychic ability. Like, it wouldn't be uncommon for Pisces to have like very vivid prophetic dreams or receive messages from spirit. I believe everyone is born with psychic abilities. Like, every single person on this earth, I just feel like it's like perhaps like a lost sense that we all once had, and then like we just don't use it anymore. But I believe that Pisces could be inclined to being a little bit more connected to that. It's kind of like you might work to like strengthen and like develop psychic abilities, but for Pisces it might just be like quite natural to them. For instance, if like you were born with, say, eyesight, You probably don't wake up every single day and think what a gift it is to have your eyesight, even though it is. You probably just don't think too much about it. And for Pisces, it could come just as naturally as that, where like they have like their third eye open and they don't really think of it too much like a gift, because it's just like the way that they are. Pisces can definitely be seen as a little bit weird from an outside perspective. Maybe they are seen as delusional, and this can be because they often do live so much within their own head and that kind of like imaginary realm that they've created, whereas like the physical, tangible realm can go a little bit ignored, or because they do spend so much time in their head, then like the real world, I'm putting that in quotation marks, and like their like inner world kind of like get a little bit lost and a little bit mixed up together. This can on occasion lead to an avoidance of the physical world, kind of like why would you participate in the kind of mundane, boring day-to-day life where some things are very, very bad, when you can live in the dream realm that's super vivid and feels just as real to you as the physical world, where everything is, you can have everything in like your own head the way that you want it to be. I am like a maladaptive daydreamer, not as awful now. I go through like phases, but I feel like that's just, I'm not Pisces, but I feel like when I'm in like a maladaptive like moment, like I feel like that must be what Pisces is like literally all the time. Because Pisces are so emotionally connected, this can make them very loving, very kind, very empathetic. They just have to be quite careful to protect their own energy. So because they are so sensitive, they could quite easily absorb the emotions of everyone around them and take on those emotions as their own. So they might find themselves feeling like incredibly sad or incredibly like low when they don't really know why, and they don't really realise that they've kind of absorbed this energy and these emotions from other people. And while having ocean deep empathy is a strong Pisces trait, we know by now, we're 12 episodes in, that there's always a flip side, and for every possible positive manifestation of the sign, there is an equal and opposite possible negative manifestation of the sign. So for Pisces, and kind of like all the water signs really, this can be manipulation and deception. When somebody naturally understands the deepest, most raw parts of other people, this can either be beautiful and healing, or it can be used to emotionally manipulate another person. So because Pisces can understand so well the deepest parts of the human psyche, like it's either a gift or it's really, really dodgy. It's like as well, like Pisces could show you like a vision of your perfect fantasy life. Like they could like create this like amazing like illusion of what like life could look like for you, and they could be showing you that because they want to use their creative vision to kind of manifest that life with you, or it could all just be an illusion. It all honestly just depends on the individual. Like magic in the hands of one person is absolutely revolutionary, and magic in the hands of another person is absolutely terrifying. So some famous Pisces suns are Rihanna, Kurt Cobain, Justin Bieber, Albert Einstein, Dakota Fanning, Alan Rickman, Elliot Page, Bon Jovi, Bruce Willis, and Shaquille O'Neal. Pisces as your moon sign. So your moon sign is your inner world, emotions, magic, subconscious, all of that stuff. So kind of like very Pisces vibes to it. Like Pisces and the moon like get on like really, really well with each other. So the moon rules over Cancer, However, like the moon and Pisces do share like a lot of similar traits to one another as well, I would say. So if someone's moon sign is in Pisces, that means that the moon was in the zodiac sign of Pisces at the time that they were born, and the moon changes sign every 2.5 days. So someone with a Pisces moon is likely going to be very compassionate, very loving. I can feel like a real kind of like gentleness from this moon placement, almost like a sweetness and an innocence. Like I feel like they would just be like the sweetest, like most delicate little babies, because they feel everything so very deeply. They could potentially find themselves with quite hurt feelings like a lot of the time, or find that they're caught in this kind of sea of sadness or like overwhelming deep depression that they can't ever get themselves out of. Alice in Wonderland to me is the perfect example for a Pisces moon. So constantly dreaming instead of participating in reality, an intense, weird, vivid inner world that might be an illusion that's completely created by her own mind, or maybe she's actually entered into another realm that only she has access to because only she has the capability to see the unseen. So that's the thing, I feel like with Pisces moon, like they could either like enter things that are like illusions and escapism and kind of lean into stuff that like isn't real, or they could also just have this like deep psychic ability that means that they could like enter like other realms and just really see things like so differently from others. And that's a very thin but very dangerous line to walk on sometimes. In this Alice in Wonderland quote here, man, if this isn't Pisces moon, I don't know what is. I wish I hadn't cried so much, said Alice as she swam about trying to find her way out. I shall be punished for it now, I suppose, by being drowned in my own tears. Escapism can come in many forms. This could be daydreams, getting lost in books, TV, music, other versions of reality, or in more dangerous ways such as substance abuse. Often Pisces does need an escape from the intensity of their feelings and from the energy around them, because they're constantly like soaking it up and constantly like picking it up all the time. Obviously it can be tiring and it can feel like quite a burden to have that all the time. So I really understand why they would want an escape from that. And when escape comes easy to you, that can be a little bit of a dangerous trap. Pisces can also be really clever, which is sometimes overlooked because they are kind of typecast as like the emotional one, which like they literally are. But I like to think of the zodiac wheel as like a story or like an evolution of life, if you will. And this is like a very brief overview. I actually could do like a story about this, which I think could be quite cool, like put it into like story format. I might do that as like a video or like as like a little ebook or something like that. Could be very cute. So way back when we started in Aries, we were just brand new little babies. It's all about the self. It's all we know. Kind of like the Fool card in tarot. It's number 0 right at the beginning. Then we grow and we evolve and we start to enter new seasons, such as Taurus, where we learn to be a bit more structured and figure out the routine of our life. Gemini, where we learn about the multifaceted nature of ourselves. Cancer, where we nurture our home and our family. Leo, where we grow into our resilience and our strength. Virgo, where we refine all the lessons that we've learned so far and start to use them in a methodical way to heal and grow. In Libra, we explore more meaningful partnerships as well as the balance and act of life. In Scorpio, we wade into the dark side and learn what it means to transform through pain. In Sagittarius, we begin to seek answers of something more expansive beyond us, and then we teach others with what we find. Then Capricorn comes and we're older and wiser. We get serious about what it is that we're actually doing here on Earth. in Aquarius, we realise that we are not just ourselves, but we are the whole entire universe, and what we do here really matters. And finally, in Pisces, our earthly journey comes to an end and we dive into the mystical waters of the other worlds. So for me, I would say Pisces is incredibly wise. Some famous Pisces moons include my Lord and Saviour, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Macaulay Culkin, Sabrina Carpenter, Elvis Presley, Audrey Hepburn, Steve Carell, Frank Sinatra, Paul Newman, who was always my grand's favourite, and Kathy Bates. Pisces as your rising sign. So if someone has Pisces as their rising sign, that means that the constellation of Pisces was rising over the eastern horizon at the moment that they were born. So this changes every 2 hours. So your rising sign also determines the structure for the rest of your chart. So your rising sign will always rule your first house, and then in order of the signs, your other house rulers will be determined. This means if Pisces rules your first house, Aries will rule your second house, Taurus will rule your third house, Gemini will rule your fourth house, and so on and so forth. Your rising sign also determines your chart ruler. So for Pisces rising, this would be Jupiter and Neptune. So your rising sign, we've been over so many times. It's like your body, your persona, your personality, the mask that you show to the world, who you are here on this physical earth. I take the rising sign as having a relatively deeper meaning than just beyond the physical, where it's also it's the vessel that carries your soul around, and there's a reason that you are here on this earth as you, not you as in like your soul, but you as in like you, like as in me, like as in like Kristy. There's a reason that like I'm here as like Sagittarius rising Kristy. There's something in that rising sign as to why I'm here on this physical earth. So for me, I always see the rising sign as showing a little glimpse into like your life path, and could give a little bit of a glimpse into career. Honestly, like, it's just kind of for fun that we're looking at career here. It's not like the be all and end all. There's other parts of the birth chart that are way more significant when it comes to career, but you know, we're just having fun. So for Pisces rising, they're going to absolutely thrive in anything related to the arts or to creativity. They have such amazing access to the emotional world that they could make revolutionary musicians, artists, or poets. I also think anything in the healing world would be perfect too, because they'll likely have this huge capacity for empathy. So I'm thinking of something like a therapist, or even like an alternative healer, such as an energy worker, Reiki practitioner, something along those lines. Rising signs can also determine your physical features. Like I says, it's like the mask that you show to the world and the physical self that you are. So for Pisces rising, the main thing that I always notice is their eyes. So I actually think any strong Pisces placements, they always have like a similar look to the eyes. And this is having like big, watery eyes, almost not like glazed over, but almost like maybe as if they're like about to like start crying, could be a thing. And almost like something quite baby looking about Pisces risings. Like their features seem to be quite round and sweet looking, sometimes quite ethereal looking. And I don't want to say like, people say like, oh, like fish like, and nobody wants to get told that they look like a fish, but Pisces can have like a fish vibe to them. But think about like the hot Angelina Jolie fish from Shark Tale, if that makes you feel better. Also, Pisces risings, I've noticed they sometimes have stuff going on with their feet. So Pisces does roll over the feet, so this could mean having like flat feet, like turned out toes like a little mermaid tail, maybe like webbed toes, or something else kind of noticeable going on with like their feet or their walk. So some famous Pisces risings include Johnny Cash, who is also a Pisces sun, and he really looks like Pisces to me, like really, really looks like a Pisces. Morgan Freeman, Peter Dinklage, Andrew Garfield, Ellen DeGeneres, Whitney Houston, Billie Eilish, Kristen Ritter, and Kourtney Kardashian. And that's it. We've made it through all 12 signs of the zodiac. Again, if you have made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in. It really means a lot that I like script up these little episodes and then edit them and put them out and people enjoy them, because I really also enjoy creating them as well. And then until next time, bye.